Hi guys. Oh my god. Today is one of the saddest day of my life. You guys, I know you're so used to a bubbling Lizzie who is not that today. Whew. You know guys, sometimes we need to do what we have to do in life just to make sense. So many things happen. So many things go wrong, but we have to remain the true version of who we are. So today, I kind of just feel like a little bit concerned, and I want to come and talk again about who Lizzie is. Who is Lizzie? I've been reflecting this deep down my heart, and I feel like there's so much that I have that I need to share to you guys, so that whenever you guys feel like you're losing up, you are getting into that point of you don't know what to do, you can actually have this one person that you look up unto and say, if you did it to Lizzie, you can do it unto me. And I want to serve as an example of a good example ever used when it came or when it comes to empowerment. That is me. So today I'm actually reflecting of my journey of being in this country. On the first time I actually landed to Australia, all the conspiracy, all the negativity, all the challenges that I've actually entitled to who is Lizzie. And today I thought I should use my weakness to come and actually just stand here or sit here, relax and share with you my journey. Lizzie. I know most of you will wonder why I call myself lioness. It's because most of the time I've felt like I have conquered, I have fought so many obstacles in my life that were meant and deemed to bring me down. From my family, and anytime I talk about this, there's so much from my heart. Because I know where I come from. I know where all these things started. Lizzie, the lioness. So, I'm trying not to be emotional, but you actually know this is not the normal Lizzie, you all know. I'm one person who will be smiling with all the glow and all the beauty smiles, but today, this is not that person that you actually see every time on your social media. You know why? Because something has triggered my past to who I am today. And I'm reflecting on this today just to help you guys to stand focused and firm on whatever you're going through, and to believe that there's something that will happen into your life, that probably it will bring all the meaning of what you're going through at this point. I remember, and I've actually talked about these things in so many different times, but anyway, let me go back. I remember there's this specific time of my life. I was really young, and my dad passed on. My dad died. And I will actually, I think I should do is take you back to what happened before he died. The things that I can remember anytime I close my eyes and visualize is this. And this is being the true me. I remember my dad was on a bed, and there was so much or so many gunshot outside. I remember this specific Saturday night, there was so much of shooting between the police people and other people. And my dad was not killed, but he actually died of high blood pressure, hypertension, associated relatively sort of disease. Because, come on, like, my dad was having this sort of like disease condition, and then with so much of shooting and so much of all this that was happening, he died. I remember on this Saturday night, my dad was lying sleepless on his bed. He had not completely closed his eyes. I will see the red sort of like eyes, you know, that like the way someone is tired, or maybe the way someone is so sleepy. I remember that is what I saw on my dad. He looked so tired, but he was completely lying down on his bed. But you know what? He had passed on. And my mom had, was sitting at the bedside, and I remember she was talking of my youngest brother, who was then, I think, about 3 months old. And she was constantly reminding herself that it is not all gone. She's been left with a lot of much work to do with her children. We were 3 girls and 2 boys. I remember my mom crying so much that she was so young, and all her dreams were shattered. These are the things that I remember today. Whenever I close my eyes and reflect upon these specific moments of my life, these are the things that I can still visualize and see. I'm not talking in a point of reflecting of a story that someone told me. I'm talking this on a point that I can reflect on that specific time in my life that I witnessed this happening when I was so young and naive. I remember my mom leaving that house at about 2, 3 a.m. at night, going to look for a doctor to actually come and check if my dad was still breathing. Come on, this is your husband. He's lying on bed without breathing and all that. You will actually walk out, irrespective of what was happening, of the gunshot and all that. My mom took an initiative to go out and find what was happening from the reliable sources. About 1 hour later, I remember my mom coming back with 2, police officers accompanying her, and these police officers were the same people that used to guard us in our home, because my dad was in this sort of like profession that he was working in, protecting the peace and all those sort of things of the community. But look at him. He's died helpless on his bed after the gunshot had gone like for all hours just happening outside. These are the things I remember today. I remember my mom coming back with a medical practitioner. What was his name? Muturi. She came back with Muturi, and Muturi was checking on my dad's temperature and all that. And he was like, oh, he's gone. He's dead. he's not here with us. But I was so young to an extent that I could not believe what actually death meant. I did not understand what it meant for someone to be dead. I thought my dad was just lying there and all this was happening to him, but I knew he was still there with us. But he was dead. That was around 4 a.m. I remember my mom telling me a story of what had happened on her way to go and, bring Mr. Mturi, who is the doctor, the medical practitioner who pronounced my dad as deceased. She said that on her way, some gunshot was shot on her, and she ended up losing her hair cover or something like that. Yeah. And she ended up on the sewage line, and that is how she escaped all that. But on this specific day, I was going to lose my father and my mom. And I thank God that he actually preserved my mom for us. Today, as we're talking, after my father died, so many things have happened. And as I stand here today, as I sit here today talking about this, it has been a journey of healing, a journey of acceptance, a journey of so many things that I've gone through in accepting the reality. My family, my father's family, decided to abandon us, decided to take an initiative to take my mom to court. Oh my God, it was so hard. They actually insulted my mom of killing my dad, which was not true, because I can testify today. The things that I can still remember and recall. My father was lying helpless on his bed when the gunshots were going on. My mom was very young. She was not even 35 years old. She was that young. And when all this family came upon her, she could not defend herself. It has been so hard for me to heal from this sort of trauma. It has been so hard for me to accept that this actually happened in my life when I was so young and naive, to the same hands of people that I trusted the most, of my father's family. Until today, it is really painful. I cannot comprehend sometimes what I go through. I know I am so successful and I'm so blessed, but the reality of the past trauma still triggers me. Any moment I sit back and remember that my brother, who was our last born brother, was left when I think he was around 2 months and a half when my father died, the whole thing comes up. It is so sad that the same family which is supposed to be protecting you today can abandon you and leave you to the street. I remember that specific day that myself and my brother were coming from school. We were so young. I cannot figure out what sort of age we were, but I think we were like 4, 5 years old. I remember coming up from the school with my brother. My mom, at this specific moment, she was in hospital with her mom, our grandmother. rest in peace, who was very sick, and she was looking after her in the hospital. And my other two siblings who had moved out to go and live with our grandmother in her home because she was lonely in this new home of ours. It was only me with my brother. I remember going back home and finding some people who are my father's family, my cousins, my uncles. Oh my God, have demolished our house and took everything, including our beddings. Everything. Our house was completely demolished. And immediately they pointed on us and said, guys, go and look after your mom. Go and check where she is. This is not where you guys belong. I remember I was so young. Guys, these are some of the reality that will happen in life. When you're vulnerable, when things are not working well, when you guys feel like everything else has been moved and shaken, and all your priorities gone, and opportunities shut down, and you're still on your process of growing, this is a time you actually need to believe so much in the Most High God. Because this specific moment, we were left vulnerable. Vulnerable of situation, without having a home, having clothes. My father's family literally took everything, demolished my mother's house, and they took everything from that house, and they were like telling us, go away. And it was not like go away, it was like, get out of here, go away, go and look where your mom is. It was really painful. I remember I was so young. I still love these people. I still trusted in them. And I kept on telling them, I don't have anywhere to go. But what they told me was, go and look after your mom. We were just 4 years, 5 years old. My brother was very young. I think he was like 3 years old. Why did you do this to us? Look, we are living of this trauma. The trauma of not believing that good people exist. Because this is the same life that you decided to choose for us. I am so successful. I'm so blessed. I have everything I ever thought of having in this life. But look, this is morning. This is 6 a.m. in the morning. I've been thinking and reflecting about this, and it still triggers my past. Guys, sometimes the same people that you've trusted, the same people that you've put your trust and hope in, the same family member that you think are so connected to you, these will be the first people to push you into the streets, to push you into living that desperate life that you've never thought about, to being the street kid, to being, the destitute, to being homeless, to being with no food, with no shelter, with no clothing. And this has affected me today as an individual. I cannot make meaningful relationship. I don't trust people. Because look, the same people I trusted are the same people who put me in this space today. The same people I thought were good and generous and my bloodline have put me into a space that has compromised my humanity part of who I am. I'm I'm so blessed. I've achieved a lot. But look at me. I'm still vulnerable. I'm still living in my past life trauma. How I was young, what my mother faced, what we've gone through in life to being who we are today. Today is a Sunday morning. I only have tomorrow. And the next day after tomorrow, which is a Tuesday, is my graduation day in Australia. This means a lot to me in the sense of one day, my own family, who are my father's family, never believed in me. They never trusted in who I was becoming. They didn't see a life and a future of me because I was just young and vulnerable. They put me into this cocoon of compromising everything good that would have come from me. Today, I'm actually seeing the bright days ahead because I have worked so much hard to make a difference in my life, to make my mom proud, to give her a life, to give her a meaning to smile back again. So many people will never see this, but to be honest, this has always been my dream. The same woman who is my mom that decided to take after us, irrespective of everything that was crashing against the odds, she still stood and protected us. We went to the street with no foods, no clothes, no names, with nothing else. Today, I'm just one day away to my graduation. My graduation has actually costed me fortune. I have paid more than $145,000 towards my studies. I am an uneducated woman. I feel like today I stand in a better space to protect what is legal, what is just, and what is human right. And this is my call from today henceforth, because I will never want to stand on a space where they will compromise what is human right, because that is what I've been a victim of. And today, I just have one day left to my graduation. It means a lot because I actually celebrate the same mother who's meant a lot in my life. A mother that trusted in my lowest moment when I was a baby. When we were kicked off from our home, my mother still stood so firm in protecting us. Myself, my two sisters, and my two brothers. She stood very firm. She was very young. What is even 30 years old means? She was just between 30 to 35 years old. She was really young. I will never imagine anyone putting me in the space where they put my mother during that time. It is not easy to forgive. I am not promising to forgive anyone. I know forgiveness takes time. I'm not promising to forgive my father's family. But one thing I want you guys to learn, one thing I want you people to know is there's always tomorrow that could be better than what it is today. Any good day is never predictable until it happens. I'm looking forward to seeing myself into that space that I will protect justice, because I've been vulnerable to the institution that were meant to protect me. This is my story today. I will still come back and talk about the other part of this journey. It has never been easy. It has been so rocky. It has been so hard. But look at me today. I'm so grateful that I made to this. Thank you.